I can't think.
Welcome back to the MANxiety show. I'm Corey Brooks.
Mick Thomas here. How are you?
How are you? We're trying to keep this a weekly thing again.
We're trying, and then we messed up last week. I don't know what happened. What happened last week, actually? Was it you or me?
It was me. But listen, we put 2 episodes out there with you in it. So
that's
you got
fine.
your exposure, you motherfucker. But we're back. There's only so much
fine.
Mick you can handle in a week, people.
Yeah,
you know?
there's way too much. Way too much. Oh, yeah, the other one, the two guineas and a
Two
Mick.
guineas and a Mick. And I always love when you and Austin go back and forth. That makes my day.
Yeah, that's funny. That's
I
funny.
love when you two go back and forth.
And I'll also check out my other podcast.
Yes, Cheaper Than Therapy.
Which should be, again, the name of this podcast. But also, as always, guys, we are not doctors. So please seek...
Disclaimer.
If you're having any issues whatsoever, any mental breakdowns,
Seek help. Suicide
help.
hotline below.
Right. Do you
love
actually
doing
put them
this.
on?
I do.
Okay,
That actually
good,
shows
good.
that you don't watch her fucking
Good,
episode.
good. No, I listen.
It's okay.
That's the difference. I can't look at myself.
It's all right. This is me putting my 2 weeks notice in.
Yeah. No, I can't look at myself, but I do listen.
Good.
I do listen.
Yes, I try to put all that stuff down there to help everybody that needs the.
Because I want to make sure if somebody reaches out to me, because I have had people reach out to me on stuff I've said on my podcast, all in a comedic way. And I want to make sure that I've covered, like, you know what, I should have said that. I should have said that, or I shouldn't have said this, or maybe I meant to say that, but I worded it wrong.
Right.
Because I usually 99.99% of the time I'll stand by 100% of what that's a contradiction of numbers, but I usually, that's like 60% of the time, it works every time. But I usually stand behind everything I say, but sometimes I'll word it different, so it'll come out wrong.
Yeah, and you listen back and you'll say, that sounded like
I meant
not
it.
what I meant to sound like.
But because even on my Cheaper Than Therapy podcast this week, I was talking about, because I got a lot of, not backlash, but people were commenting on, I did an episode called War with Disney, how Florida were fighting with Disney.
Right.
Over transgender issues. And
I got to see that one. And you got to watch his other podcast. It's great. It's really
Or
funny.
listen, appreciate that.
Or listen. Yes, it's 30 minutes. Usually they're
right.
an hour long.
But it's a good segue into this
it
one,
was great.
because I'll tell you why, because it was, what I was talking about was not anything against transphobic. It wasn't transphobic. It wasn't anything against transgender people. But my point of the argument was that now Disney, just to bring up the speed real quick, Disney are now no longer saying boys or girls. So when you come into the park, they're instructing all their cast members, they're not staff, instructing all their cast members to say,
it's our friends.
I don't know
right?
what they're going to say, right? I don't know.
Friends or
Is that what it is?
something like that,
I
yeah.
didn't find out. So
Yeah.
all I said was, and again, in Cheaper Than Therapy is more of a comedic thing. I said that we're going to be, wait a minute. So usually the people who work at Disney are retired New Yorkers or whatever people, and they move down to Florida and they get a part-time job, and they're just seniors. They've probably fought in 1, if not 2 wars, probably maybe not World War II anymore. Definitely maybe the Korean War. They're old vets, right? So they spent their whole life.
Korean War. They're probably like
Is that
90s.
even older too?
Yeah, you'd probably be in your
How
90s.
old was the Korean War? I don't want to Google it.
You got your 90s something.
Whatever. They were in a war. I've seen a bunch of them with vet hats, though. I've seen them like with the hats on, like legit, like
Vietnam
Korean War.
up,
Yeah, Vietnam's probably one of them too. And they're working down there,
Busting chops.
and they got and their whole life, and then they went to war, and they probably saw their friends.
Yep.
They've seen action, as they call it, and then they've raised a family, they've lost friends and that kind of stuff, and then all they want to do is settle down in Disney, and they spent their whole life saying boy and girl, and all of a sudden you want them fired because they go into autopilot. They're like 80 something. All of a sudden they say boy instead of girl, and as I explained it, I wasn't explaining it correctly, right? I was but that's my point, and that's what I was trying to make. Not that I'm backpedaling. I said those exact words, but people were kind of, because I didn't stop and go, hey, I'm not transphobic, which is bullshit. You have to put a disclaimer to say you're not. Which kind of brings us into today's topic of narcissism, right?
It's not being transphobic. It's just something that you're not accustomed to yet, because like those generations, it wasn't a thing in those generations.
Right. And
so
it's just got here.
For them to flip a switch like that is difficult. Not that they have anything against it, it's just.
But that's my point. Like that, like nobody has anything against it as such.
If you don't teach the dog to sit, he's not going to sit.
Right. So it's exactly right. So and that's what it was. And people were calling me a narcissist online based. And I here's the thing.
People want to hate other people.
But here's the thing. I'm telling you all now, if you listen to this show only, if you listen to Cheaper Than Therapy, if you've heard me on any other podcast, two guineas and a Mick, whatever, you cannot hurt my feelings. I promise you can't.
Nope.
So no matter what you type, I'm okay. Like, I'm going to be okay with it.
Yep.
Trust me. But I was called a narcissist. And we mentioned that last time, and we've mentioned a few episodes that it's the most common. It's just thrown around so easy, right?
Yeah.
There's so many people out there that if you disagree with me, you're a narcissist. Like, if you're arguing with somebody, and sometimes you can argue with somebody logically, right? And they're all temper. And because you're calm, it's like, well, you're a narcissist because you have almost like an evil, you know what I mean? Like, you're such a calm, like, you're very, it's weird. There's a demeanor about you that's very narcissistic. Like, no, I just don't like to argue, and you're screaming and flaying your arms.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get caught up in it.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean I'm a narcissist, but men are constantly called narcissist. And it's only recently, and they're still not talking about it. Very few people are talking about it, which is the female narcissist, which I love. Now, to be called a narcissist, and I've been called a narcissist on online, I've been called a narcissist to my face. You know, it's just when people don't understand. It was like if you ever said, let's say Trump had, and we'll go back to not politics at all. This is not politics related, but it's just an example. If Trump had 10 laws, like the Trump commandments and the Biden commandments,
Right.
and if you liked 8 of Biden's and said, you know what, I like the 2 that Trump has. You're a Nazi. Like, you got to look up the word. Like, I can send you some good movies to watch, documentaries to watch that will kind of show you what a Nazi really is. And you're going to call me that because I think blah, blah, blah. Freedom of speech.
Instead of even
guns,
having, but
whatever.
they don't even want to have a conversation over
They don't.
anything. It's just, you're a Nazi, you're a terrible person. That's it. Not even have a conversation to see two sides and stuff. Like, and that's what bothers me with you see arguments with certain people, is that somebody will have a view and then the other person will just call them a Nazi, but they won't rebuttal.
Right.
And say, all right, I guess I can kind of see your way, but here's why I'm thinking this way. No one has those conversations anymore.
Instead of just putting that label across your forehead and then you walk out.
Right.
So narcissist is a huge one for men to deal with today, right? And it's a stigmatism you can be given now. You can be called any male a narcissistic person just because they don't agree with you. You're a point. You don't want to argue. So they're only starting to look at just now, which is female narcissism. That's a big word for me to be tripping over a lot. So I wanted to go through some, just kind of quickly go through some, because like when you look at what a narcissistic person is, right? If you go look at the top 10 things that makes a narcissist, you usually, the list, Google even is kind of biased. Google will go, yeah, here's how he's in. Well, no. Stop saying him, because when I Googled the list, so, but I wanted to do like a female, because the female is kind of different list of, because a female narcissist is very covert, right? It's very subtle. They're very sneaky. And again, listen, I'm going to give you a list of 5 things and we'll talk about each one of them. It doesn't mean that I don't want any guy listening to this going, holy shit, my girlfriend, my wife is a narcissist because she has some of that. No, and I will go through those examples, what I'm talking about.
Because if you dig, you can call every single person.
Of course you can. Of course you can. Like, you can go onto Google or you can go on the internet and find many articles of why smoking cigarettes are good for you. Right? It's not true, but you'll find something that will agree with you. So we're not doing that. And this is not an anti-woman episode, but it's more of a kind of like, hey, let's save the men here on this one, right? So let's go through the list of, because like I said, it is... So narcissism is usually like, they're narcissistic people, right? So it's fake confidence, first of all, right? That's what narcissism is. Like, they're the life of the party. They're very confident. They're very outgoing.
Right.
Right. So but be deep down, like it is like, it's a mental disorder, right? That's basically what it is. It's a mental disorder. So they're very insecure people. So they want to come across like they're not insecure. So I've picked 5 topics that are different from so you might write in. You can please write into us if you want to. If you disagree with any of these things, send us emails. To email us at ihavemanxiety.com. And we'd love to hear back from you. So the first thing on the list, and this is in no particular order, is love bombing.
Okay.
So the female narcissist will love bombing. And what I mean by love bombing is you all of a sudden you start to date this person and now you're amazing. Everything about you is, you're so funny. You're so good looking. You're sexy. You're great in bed. You're so, like, everything about, like, they're just constantly just bombing you.
And this narcissism thing's supposed to be a bad thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But there's a reason behind it, right? There's a reason behind it.
Mick's gonna bring us up and then tear us down right
So
now.
again, I'm gonna give a disclaimer almost on every one of these. If you're a woman who likes to give your man a compliment, keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
We're not talking about you.
We're stupid.
Specifically. I'm telling you what this is proven. This is scientifically reviewed. So I'm just telling you what love bombing is. And these things usually, because it usually takes about 2 months for you to identify, if you're paying attention, where you go, all right, I'm onto this chick now. I'm onto this chick. And by 2 months then, like, it's a full-fledged relationship, right? If you're with someone for 2 months, it's not as easy, like, of 2 weeks. You're like, you know what, this is not working out. Let's see. Like, all right, bye. Didn't work out. Bye. But 2 months, that's a breakup. Right now, you gotta, you know what I mean? You can't text. That's a real breakup.
Yep.
So love bombing, right? So everything, you're praising you the best. Why do they do that, right? Why do they praise you with that? Well, because they themselves only want to be surrounded by greatness, right? So by telling you that you're great, they're telling themselves that because I only associate with great people. So the more I tell this guy that he's amazing, I'm going to believe he's amazing. Therefore, look at me. I only hang out with high rollers. Again, that's not a money thing, but I only hang out with the cream of the crop. I am also amazing because, look, these are the only people I associate with.
Right.
All right. So that's what love bombing. And again, women, keep complimenting your men. That's not what this is about, right?
He's the guy with the big stick. He's the
right. So if you're a special
job.
right, if you're a special person, you know, then she will be a special person.
But have you ever been in a situation where you've seen like love bombing, and then when they break up, that person was just terrible person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Where it's just like it was the best thing in the world, and then it's always their fault.
And that's a common thing with the narcissists too, and it actually comes up later on. But like what they'll do is they will never accept any responsibility for the breakup.
Right.
Right. It's never.
It's always a two-way street.
Right.
Always a two-way
street. Of course, it's never your fault. It's never, you know. And yeah, sure, the person could have done something wrong. Absolutely, 100%. Now, do something wrong doesn't mean necessarily like an evil thing.
But I mean, they could have. All right. Fell out of love with you, right? Or
Which
just
happens.
a connection wasn't there, or you were just, you know, you weren't. They felt like they weren't getting attention, whatever it may be. And then you guys break up, and it's just always like that one person's just an asshole. It's like,
he's an asshole.
They fell out of love.
Yep, and they go,
and it happens,
and they'll go after you.
Yeah.
Right. That's what the female narcissists will do. They won't just. And again, we're getting ahead of ourselves because this does come up a bit later. No, please don't. So what they'll do is not only will they, when they break up, they'll fucking burn your house down, like metaphorically, of course. Like they will bash you on social media, bash it to your friends, bash it to her friends.
Yep.
Show up at your job. Like some of them are, you know what I mean? They go too far on it, right?
Yeah.
So love bombing is a big one, right? And the only and that's very heavy at the start of it. It's very, very heavy. The next one is compliment fishing. Right.
Okay. I think everybody's guilty of that.
Compliment fishing, right?
Everybody can be
right.
guilty of that. But
why do they want compliment fishing, right? Why do they compliment fish? Why would you think someone compliment fishes?
it's always nice to have somebody give a compliment about it. You know?
Right, but you're going to say it back, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so fat. Oh, you know, like stuff like
well,
that.
See, that's the
I mean?
disclaimer.
What do you?
That's the disclaimer, right? Girls, if all of a sudden you're like, hey, look, I got back into those jeans I had from 5 years ago. Isn't that amazing? That's sometimes it's nice to get a compliment, right? That's not necessarily compliment fishing from a narcissistic point of view. That's like, it would be nice to hear something nice once in a while.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Did you like, or like if you make a dinner, right? Let's say you come home. Let's just say, and as an example, it's not unique to you, to me, to anybody. But let's say you come home and you've made dinner, right? And all of a sudden, like your day, she made you dinner, but your day was so stressful, right? That you're starving. You walk in, you sit down. You haven't had 5 minutes to stop and go, you know what, honey, thank you so much for this, right? But she wants to hear, hey, was it good? Did I put some time into this, right? That's like a healthy compliment that we all want, right? If you go to the gym, hey, wouldn't hurt you to say,
yeah, I mean, that's how people walk up to me and be like, oh, your arms getting bigger, or you look like you're losing weight. That's always great to get.
Right. So that's not necessarily what we mean from the narcissistic point of view, but from the female narcissist, compliment fishing is, I said it to you, right, constantly. So what are you going to do? You're going to give it back, right? Oh my God, you look great. You look, so do you, honey. So do you too. Like all that work you put in the gym is really paying off. Yours, it's if you were to compliment someone so many times a day, it becomes exhausting. I feel personally, on a personal level, I think that it would lose its power or its meaning.
Right.
It would lose its meaning if you kept saying every 30 seconds about like how great and amazing you are.
And not to not to go back on social media, but social media is one big compliment fish.
Right. But that's where, and that's what's coming up next, right? Because what they'll do is...
Am I jumping ahead of your list?
No, we're still on this on compliment fishing. Because if you get exhausted with giving her these compliments, right? You're like, so I can't just fucking... How many times I gotta tell her she looks amazing? Yeah, you're gorgeous, honey.
I'm just gonna make one of those stuffed bears with the voice box in it of me.
Just
saying,
press the
you
button.
look great.
Yeah. All the above. All the above. And what's going to happen is then she'll go online and then, or she could be out at a restaurant or at a bar.
Right.
And then she'll get compliments from other people, like in front of you, like in front of you, post a picture online that's kind of like, oh, look at me bending over to pick up my keys. Are you? Is that what you're doing? Your friend took a picture, you're just picking up your keys. And like, if they don't get the compliments from you,
yeah,
right. If you run out of steam, which let's be honest, you're going on run out of steam. You can't keep complimenting. It's exhausting. You can't keep complimenting a person all day, every day. She's going to turn elsewhere. She's going to look somewhere else to get those compliments. That doesn't mean she's going to cheat. I'm not saying she is, but she's going to put herself in that situation where she's going to get compliments from anywhere else. She'll go from social media. Like I said, she'll go into like she could be out at right in front of you. Right. Like if someone says something nice, it'll be like a giggle or whatever. And you know what I mean? At the gym, whatever. It's instead of shutting down, and sometimes and it's not saying she's going to do anything wrong from a physical perspective of it, but she'll kind of like I've seen people at the gym, guys hit on girls. Like I said, I'm embarrassed for you, lads. Stop. Like you're letting us down. What are you doing? Yeah. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's how he approached at the gym. And she'll be just giggling. I'm like, you fell for that? Like, really? That's the line?
Oh, yeah.
But that's my point. Doesn't mean she's going to follow through. They're not going to exchange numbers. She's not going to give the number, but she is now swimming in the pool of I need compliments because that's what a narcissist wants. They want to keep building themselves up and up and up.
Right.
And if you're not giving them the compliments, because I've been giving you compliments all day, every day, and you're not going to give them back to me, I will get it elsewhere. Right. Number 3.
This guy's looking big, by the way, isn't he?
Oh,
good, man.
Stop it.
This is just start working out with you.
Small. Yeah, come with me, man.
Look at this. This is fucking. This is why I'm on this side.
What did you just mess your hair?
Poof it up.
Are you just talking about the gym and you want to just with your hair?
My ass off. My hair's a fucking disaster. This is.
I spent the whole day on a motorcycle today, so trust me, I'm sweaty all over.
Yeah.
Number 3 on the list, she lacks empathy. Right? She lacks empathy, meaning she's not a nurturing person whatsoever. She doesn't care about other people. Right. She'll talk shit about people constantly, right? Which is not a good one. And you can usually see it with how she acts. Like if you ever go to a restaurant and like the waitress gets something wrong with the order, and you can see that, you know what I mean? Like there's no kind of like, oh, well, that's a human error, right? That's no problem. Let's send it back.
Yeah.
No, not a problem. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to add that. Let me bring it back and I'll put cheese on it. I didn't mean to not put the cheese on it. And then it's gonna be kind of like
the jam, unless they forget your jam.
Yeah.
Not to circle back. That's a podcast. But just remind me. But yeah.
What were you talking about?
the jam. This is going back. I'm totally interrupted. You're
in the middle of it,
when
I was in Jersey.
Go listen and watch the Two
yeah.
Guineas One Mick episode.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, you're right.
Jam. So so she's now like, instead of saying to that waitress, you know what I mean? Like, hey, is it, that's all right. That happens. You know what I mean? Because no one is out to make your day worse. And that's the problem with the narcissist. She feels, the female narcissist, she feels that everyone is out to get her. Right. She's no empathy for anybody. If something bad happens to somebody, they're like, yeah, fucking good. Right? Because that's one less. Like, it's that old saying, like my grandfather used to always say to me, blowing out someone's candle doesn't make yours burn any brighter. Right. Sometimes people will try bring you down to their level. So cause it's easier to bring someone down.
Company.
Misery loves company. It's easier to bring somebody down than to build yourself up. And that's usually the typical mindset. Now, having said that, there are people, again, good women out there, again, another disclaimer, that you might be having a shitty day yourself, right? And that's different, right? You might have a shitty day. Like I had a shitty day today, just in general. And I was a bit more aggressive on the road. Not like, as in, I'm not an aggressive driver, but I'm like, could you fucking move? Like, like, what are you in this lane for? Like that, your lane is over there. You got your shit together. This is for us, the people who are just lunatics, and we got shit to do and places to be. Your lane is over there, right? So that's not a lack of empathy for the person.
Those are the people with no stress in their life.
Right.
in the right lane. No stress, no anxiety, no
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, yeah. They don't care when they
life
get there.
is perfect. When you're driving the right lane,
Yeah.
like that's my goal in life, is to be able to drive in the right lane.
Right.
Once I make it into the right lane, then I'm a happy person.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Or like the middle lane sometimes is nice too. But when you get into the right lane and there's some, when you get into the left lane and there's someone from the right lane that should be in the right lane, like get the fuck out my road. Right. So that's not
Literally, yeah.
right. That's a bad day, right? So that doesn't mean like she can't have a bad day. Everyone's allowed to have a bad day.
Yeah.
That's the disclaimer on that one. But when these people, and just in general, they'll always talk shit about somebody behind their back. The biggest thing about the female narcissist with no empathy is that if she tells you, when I say you, I don't want to keep people thinking I'm talking to Corey and I'm talking about him and his missus. I'm talking to you, the listener out there, the male listener. You know, when you go out there and then
text her now, you narcissistic bitch. I'm just kidding. Love you, babe.
But when you go out there and it's if they say something to you and you tell them like, hey, that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Right? Now, most men don't say that really because that's just the world we live in. But you say, you know what, it kind of pissed me off when you said that, whatever, in front of all these people that I didn't know. I go to this party, you said this, and these 10 people who I didn't know, you brought up that thing about in the shower.
Yep.
When that piece of soap got stuck in that place, whatever the fuck it is. Right? And then she go, you know, that hurt my feelings. And it's like met with, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
No, you did. Like, I'm telling you how I feel, and they'll totally, like, there's no empathy whatsoever. Like, no, you didn't. You didn't feel like what? Like, you're ignoring now what I'm saying.
Right.
You know, you're ignoring the feeling I'm telling you about. So you've no empathy for the pain I'm in. Or then it's always like, stop. I was just joking. Now, which I see again, this is the disclaimer part where I don't want you, if you're a female, listen to this, or a male, listen to this going like,
no, because I've been guilty of doing that once or twice in my life where I tell a story not thinking that I'm going to be hurting her feelings or hurting somebody's feelings, and then I feel completely, you know, it's like you're fine. I wasn't trying to do that, and then it starts to dwell on you like, I shouldn't have done that. You know?
Right.
But if you reach that point where it's like, I should have done that, then you're right. But if you don't ever reach that point of I shouldn't have done that, you're probably a narcissist.
Probably you've got one of the tick one of the box. But they won't do that, right? So they'll totally ignore, they've no empathy for you. The fact that yourself that hurt my feelings, or you know what? Like, it's happened to me a bunch of times, and this is something that's not where she's not the female, she's not a narcissist, it's just something that happened.
Right.
And that's what I want people to take away. Again, women, you're not, if you've done one of these things, doesn't make you a narcissist. Like I said, the compliment fishing, it's nice to look, you know, it's nice to get something nice once in a while. But I've been at a party where there's like a dinner party where I sit down, there's 12 people and I know nobody. And this chick told a story that I didn't, first of all, I mean, you can't really hurt my feelings, like I said earlier, but when I don't know anybody, and this is long before I was a comedian, I lived in Ireland, and something was said. I didn't remember the story, but I remember the feeling. And then we left. I was like, that's a pretty shitty thing you told them. I was like, what are you talking about? I don't mind you said it, but then you just kept going with it. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, stop. No, I didn't. I was, no, you did. Like, you know, that kind of, I don't think I said that hurt my feelings, but I think I said something like, it kind of upset me. I think I might have said something like that. I was like, no, it didn't. Like, all right, I guess it didn't then. I guess, you know, when you hear old couples, like you kind of hear an old couple at a restaurant, and he's like, you know, hey, you want some Parmesan cheese on? I don't like Parmesan. Yes, you do. Like, no, I told you. I'm telling you what I don't like.
It's always great watching old folks argue. It's just the best.
You love Parmesan cheese. What is wrong with you?
You got it in your pocketbook, Marcy.
So yeah, that's a big one, right? So they've no empathy whatsoever. Let me see if any points there. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like we going back to what I remember. I said we jumped ahead a little bit. Is with their exes, when usually the female narcissist they will come into the relationship. Is that me or you?
That's me. I gotta fix this. There we go.
All right.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought you had to get up and do something. No, but usually they'll come into the relationship, right? So how the female narcissist comes into a relationship is all sex. Right. All sex. They're sexy. They're done up. Everything is sex with them because you just want to be fucking, like, that's why they're more covert. Men aren't like that. A male narcissist, I'm not saying men are not like that. A male narcissist isn't like that. But they come in all sex. Like, they fucking love sex. They come in and their previous relationship was all, like, they're a victim of almost abuse. Okay. Right? Now, sometimes they can come in and they could be trauma bonding, right? Which is something we'll talk about another day. Right. They'll bond with you because of the trauma they had at a past relationship. Doesn't necessarily mean they're a narcissist. It just means they're coming in from trauma bonding, right? They might bond with you based on a traumatic experience from a previous relationship. But usually the female narcissist will come in, like, oh, this last guy, he did this to me, he treated me like that, and they'll go to really like extremes of what happened to them. So you're, of course, this person, she's going to act all sexy, all confident, life at a party, and now guess what? She's fucking love bombing you. And you're gonna feel like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm the shit. I'm the white knight here. I'm gonna say, and that's their plan. Now, it's not an intentional plan. It's not they're sitting there like, here's what I'm going to do. They don't sit there with a checklist. It's just what those traits are based on the damage they've received in their life, based on their insecurity.
Right.
All right. So their lack of empathy for that is that previous relationship. None of it was my fault. This guy was a piece of shit, and they'll lie. They'll basically lie. He was abusive. What do you mean? Was he physically abusive? Well, one time he grabbed my, you know what I mean? Maybe he grabbed your arm to stop you from fucking walking out in front of a car, and they'll take that story and they'll exaggerate it, right? Maybe like she was going to walk across the street and the guy, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, oh, he grabbed my arm really hard. That hurt. Oh, was he trying to save her life? Or like, or in your version of the story, you know what I mean? He was going to throw you in front of a bus. You know what I mean? And that's what they'll do. They'll take the truth. They'll take these stories and they've no empathy. Like I did nothing wrong.
Right.
I did nothing wrong in that relationship.
Yep.
Whatsoever. It's all this guy. It's all abusive. His friends were abusive. Like everything. All that kind of stuff.
And listen, not to say that there's no relationships out there that are like that where he is abusive. Yes, there is 100%.
It's not discarding any of it.
But we're not talking about those relationships.
Nope. We're talking about them. We're talking about the female narcissist. So that's number 3. Lacks empathy. Number 4, she isolates you, right? That's a big one, right? That's a big one. She'll isolate you, meaning that she doesn't want to share you with anybody. And what she will do is she will slowly talk shit about your family and friends.
Right.
Now, not coming out guns blazing. You know what I mean? Like, hey, that was my brother. Did you like him? Like, he's a piece of shit. What? Sorry, what was that? Slow down. It will be so fucking subtle at first.
Yep.
So like she might come to a family barbecue. And then like, I didn't like how your brother spoke to you. Like, oh, that's just him.
Yeah.
That's how he does it. Or your sister did. We've been like that for years. Yeah, but don't you think she should respect you more? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Anyway, I'll stay out of it. I'm just saying that's what maybe I don't know her that way. And like, oh, all right. And then it's like you go with your friends. Like, I don't know, man. He seems very dodgy. I think he was kind of looking me up and down. And you're like, wait, what? He was? Yeah, I think he was staring at my tits. Like, he was? John was doing that? Yeah, like, fuck. I'll pay attention to that next time. So then you're going to slowly start to doubt your friends, doubt your family. And again, this is not something that they sit down and by the way, I guess is here the disclaimer for this one is women sometimes, our family members are fucking assholes.
And we're glad you agree with us.
Cheers for pointing that out, by the way.
Yeah, we got somebody on our side.
Absolutely. Thank you for protecting me, right? You can say that. You can say that to your missus right now. Thank you for protecting me against my fucking, it could be like, you're not going to turn and call, like, Eminem's dating a narcissist.
Yeah,
like, he's like, your mother's a bit of piece of shit. Like, how dare you, right? Based on Eminem's lyrics. I don't know the lady. 2 sides to every story, I say. But, she fucking, so for those women out there who are protecting your man against crazy family members, like, look, you don't want to loan that guy 15 grand.
No.
Don't, because you're not getting that back. Yeah. Right? Protect us from that. Yep. Thank you. Being looking at something from a further outside the keyhole.
Yep.
I appreciate you doing that.
Yes.
But usually the female narcissist, she will isolate you by just little digs. Yeah, your friend Joey was,
And there's no problem with your side at all.
Yeah. He messaged me on Instagram. Did he? What did he say? Like, I don't have it anymore, but it was something about how, the night was great and you look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas if you go back to Joey, the whole message could be, you look good, Sharon look good, John look good, we all look good, right? Look at that picture, we look good, right? You know what I mean? And they will pick, I don't have the message anymore. And you're not going to confront Joey right away because you've been friends with Joey for years. You want him to like your girl, right? You want your girl to like Joey. So you're not like, Joey, did you say this to my girl?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just going to like, let me keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
But the damage has been done, right? The seed has been planted. So she's going to plant seeds throughout your fucking head about your mother, your father, your friends, your brother, your sister, your dog. I'll do that with your dog. And that's one of the big ones. Like, they will isolate you and just try to keep you further so they can keep it to themselves.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So and the reason why they do that is because they don't want them to see what she is.
Right.
They don't want them to pick up on her fucking mask.
Right.
Right. That's the reason why they're doing it. They
Right.
don't. They
'Cause
don't
she
want
knows
them-
if she knows they'll be able to pick up on her.
Yeah,
She
exactly.
may be blinded by love, but
Or
they're
else she's
not.
just so insecure that she feels, even though they probably won't, right? They might
Right.
think, oh, she's just a nice person. We went bowling together. That was fun.
Yeah.
Right? She's good at, she's told some funny jokes. That's all right.
Yep.
She looked nice. It doesn't necessarily mean, but she's nervous in her head that they're going to come in and either,
Right.
take her out, but, figure her out. And that's what she's going to do. So that was what number was that? Number 4, she isolates you, right? So the last one is she lashes out when she does not get her way, right?
So go either way.
It could go either way. But
Tell me one woman that hasn't lashed out, not getting her way.
Oh, fucking hell. She don't know what she's doing to me. Sorry, I just looked in my list here. My wife sent me a photograph of a motorcycle. We went to a Harley dealership the other day. Fucking total female narcissist. And she was like, you should buy this motorcycle. I was like, I came in to buy a t-shirt. Like a Harley Davidson t-shirt. And she tried to get me to leave on a motorcycle. Yeah, she's like, get that one. I was like, it is nice. And she could just fucking get it. I'm like, no.
Does she want to get one too?
No. She just wants a new, she wants me, she wants me to get a bigger bike.
Right.
But I went in with my daughter, we went because my daughter just wanted like a vintage. I'm like, you gotta get them like an authentic Harley Davidson t-shirt. It's probably going to start on sale at about $65 at the store. So we went in I'll go show what I'm talking about. Even in the bargain bin, you're going with $80 t-shirt in the bargain bin. So I just see this Harley.
You're telling funnier jokes now.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, the joke's getting better. I see. This Harley, this Volt, this bike, this new Harley I'm looking at.
Was it an electric bike?
No.
It's called Volt. So.
No. It's an R Volt, and it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah, just metallic blue.
You're gonna get it.
I won't. Anyway,
she planted the seed.
Worst salesman ever. Worst. The sales guy comes on. He's like, "Yeah, so I was like, can I balance it? What do you mean? Balance it means you want to get on the bike and feel the balance of the bike. Right. And you want to sound like, can I sit on it?
Yeah.
That's just weird to sit. So if you go to a there's so many rules about motorcycles that are unwritten rules. Like, I'm going to say, can I sit on it? Nobody says that unless you're a 6-year-old. Hey, mister, can I sit on it? Can I balance? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. So I get on the bike. Oh, that's nice. And I was like, so the guy's just staring at me. He's like, anything I need to know about the bike at all? He's like, oh, it's he starts turning the tag around. I was like, you just.
I hate when they do that. I hate when they do. If you don't have, study what you're selling. You know?
I was like, or ask, there's no. Yeah. He's like, do you do trade-ins? Yeah, we do trade-ins. Like, do you want to tell me? You want to ask me about the bike I'm on the trade-in? And whatever. She's like, just get it. I'm like, no, I'm not. Fuck off. Anyway, what was the last one I'm talking about? She lashes out. I think I said right. What was it? See this picture of the Harley she sent me got me. She lashes out when she does not get her way.
And it just so happened that she told you to go get the Harley.
Isn't that funny?
The stars aligned on that one.
Right. So she will lash out when she gets her way, and that really comes down to a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of self-explanatory.
I wish she would tell me to get a Harley. Tell me to get ducks. She wants fucking ducks.
Ducks won't stay.
Ducks.
Ducks will fly off.
I don't want to get ducks.
Yeah,
Her friends buying ducks. Everybody's buying ducks.
We had ducks.
Because the Tractor Supply sells ducks.
We had ducks. They're all right. They just land in your pond.
Oh, you had a duck?
Well, they would
like
come
a pet
in.
duck that you've
No,
raised?
like the Sopranos. They would just come and land in the
No,
water.
she wants me to raise ducks.
And they stay. No, that's why.
We're totally getting
they
off
shit
topic.
all over the place.
Yeah, I don't
Chickens
wanna
are what you
fucking-
want. Chickens
I
eat
don't
the
want a duck.
ticks.
I don't
The
want any of that
dogs,
shit.
they're fine.
No more
Yeah.
heartbeats in this house right now.
But
I'm
chickens
good.
take care of themselves, though. They even go to bed. Like, they do go to bed themselves, do everything. They give you eggs.
I got 2 dogs.
Yeah, the dog, bring them in when they're chicks. The dogs will actually adapt to them. And,
You think?
Yeah, of course it will.
Yeah.
Although your dog doesn't even like people.
Yeah. Exactly.
So she lashes out as self-explanatory, right? It's
Okay.
I mean, I don't need to go into detail what that one is.
No.
But the biggest part of that one is the breakup, right? When you realize 2 months are in, when it usually takes about 2 months for all these things to come to light. So
Yeah.
when they all come to light, that's when the shit hits the fan. When you break up, it's never like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can we still be friends?
Yeah.
It's none of that. It's like, I will fucking burn you.
For the rest of your life.
For honest, yep, absolutely.
And I've seen that happen to some people.
I've seen female narcissists break up with 3 guys, not at once, but in a period over a year.
Yeah.
And fucking make all 3 of their lives hell.
That's crazy.
Right? And they'll do these preemptive strikes where they will go to therapy, right? And they will tell the therapist the story. And the therapist won't because the therapist can only pick up on what they tell them, right? Therapists are not psychic.
Yeah.
They're not going to go, I sense you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Right? The therapist is going to only go based on the knowledge you're telling. Unless now the story, like, you know, hang on a second.
You can tell when someone's lying to you too if they're lying to you pretty bad. But
well, if the story changes too much the next week, like
right.
Surgeon Brother. You know, like, so if this last week you told me it was, you know,
my brother's such a bad liar that you just let him lie because he's just such a bad liar on certain things.
Oh, really?
Austin?
Yeah, I call him on it though.
Yeah, you call. It's easy to call on it
because it's going to get him in trouble one day.
Yeah,
it's going to get him in trouble. But anyway,
it's the stupidest shit though. It's the stupidest stuff.
It's so dumb.
They'll never lie about like serious shit. They lie about the stupidest shit.
He reminds me of the what was the fat kid in Goonies?
Oh, I forgot.
Chunk.
Yeah, Chunk.
All right, Michael Jackson didn't come to use my bathroom, but his sister did. So yeah, it's so they will just. So I've seen this one person just fucking go after 3 guys at once and just like shit on them. Social media, like there was this one person in Ireland I know, and man, is she fucking dangerous.
Yeah,
like dangerous to the point where she went to the cops about a person I know saying that he did something.
What?
Like, you know what I mean? Like he shut her down. He didn't want to have anything to do with her. Not in a
so she went
way.
And fabricated some sort of crazy, ridiculous story.
Yes. So to the point where the guy was arrested. He was in the paper.
I think they need more to stop that.
He had to go to court. He had to pay for a solicitor. We don't have lawyers in Ireland.
Yeah.
So we have solicitors. And it's not like over here where like, hey, I'm going to countersue now. You got to pay my lawyer. If they're going to bring you up, you have to fucking get someone to defend you. Yeah. So you have to get time out of work, all this shit. They go all the way to court. They bring up a video from the place where it said it happened. And they're like, wait, where is it? What? That's what you're saying he did? You didn't say he did that. So they're reading up the statement.
Yeah.
No. Like, you're saying he did way worse than what he did here. Yeah. Now, by the way, it's not me saying he did something that wasn't offensive. I'm not saying or did something because he didn't, by the way. I'm not downplaying anything. He didn't do anything. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to say, all he did was slap their ass and say, good job, tuts. Yeah. I'm not saying any of that. He did nothing wrong. That's my point. It's not like I'm not like saying that he only did 1, 2, 3. He didn't do 1, 2, 3, 4. Because even doing 1, 2, 3, you're still a piece of shit.
Right. He didn't even do one.
He didn't do any of it. Any of it. So the cops, and like even in court, and they said, look, we have tape of everything. You still want to go to court with this stuff we have on evidence? Yeah, I still want to go to court. And she fucking like, and even like she goes online and just talking shit about the Irish judicial system, how it's wrong. And of course, when you do it on TikTok, nobody knows the story.
Yeah.
Everyone's just immediately going to join in. Like, and that's like, I had a guy on here, I was going to bring up the video, who I follow on TikTok. I'll give you his name, actually.
Yeah, and this is what's so messed up with that. It's just, even, all right, you'd say you're guilty, and you're just guilty to proven innocent in which you're still guilty. So in other words, stuff like that happens, right? Where a guy goes through all this shit who's done nothing wrong. Listen, there's tons of fucking creepy assholes out there that deserve the worst to them. But when that happens, it's like, all right, the guy's gets off, but he's still guilty in a lot of heads. It's
still, and you know what it is too?
You still have to go through life with that shit.
Right, because we love the gossip, right? That nobody wants to go, but did you hear what someone accused him of?
Yeah.
That's all, right? And they go, okay, he was accused of, and then what?
Yep.
But what happened though? Was he found guilty? Because like I posted a comment today, someone's like, did you realize that Jared Leto was accused of all these things, blah, blah, and we still go to watch his movie, the piece of shit, Morbius, blah, blah, blah. I go, wait a minute. And I wrote in the comments, I go, yeah, but he was accused, but was he found guilty? Oh, typical male. But no, but it's not. You got to understand. Yeah. You got to stop that shit. Like, I get it. Listen, and I had this conversation with my wife the other day, like, and it was really shocking to me that I saw it at 7-Eleven. I was going to the gym early in the morning, and there was a girl, and she was probably going to the hospital. She was working at the hospital, I'm saying. She was in Scrubs. There's a hospital right near the 7-Eleven on the way to the gym. And there was these 3 construction guys, and just, like, they were laughing. You could tell they were laughing with her, looking her up and down. And then they were passing comments like, hey, come here, let me talk to you for a minute. And she was like, I don't know if she worked this shift or she was on the way to work. And I was like, man, it's got to fucking suck being a woman sometimes. It really does. And that's where I look at, like, dude, this show's pro-man. And it's like, you know, I'm trying to defend men because we have such a bad reputation. And then shit like that happens. And like, dude, you're setting us back, mate. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to... But
it's
anyway,
not pro-man, anti-woman. That's not what this is.
It's really not. It's really not. It's really a support system for men who don't really get support. But this guy here is, if you're on TikTok, he has some really good videos at logical_thinker2. At logical_thinker2. You should tag him when we post
I'll
this.
tag him and I'll put it underneath.
And he really, like, he's just basically, what his name is Logical Thinker.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He just kind of goes, all right, my page on my TikTok, McThomas Comedy, is just comedy related. So you're not going to get me being the white knight or the logic guy on there. But this guy does, right? And he calls people. And so he has a lot of great points on about the narcissist, right? So he's basically saying, what I'm trying to say is that, like, this girl in Ireland, like, she would post this thing on TikTok, this story on TikTok.
I would love to get people like that on this podcast.
Yeah, I would love to. I reached out to one guy, and I'm waiting for him to hear back from me.
Yep. He's waiting to hear back from us, like from you?
I'm waiting to hear back from him. He said, let me think about it, because he's just out of jail.
Yeah.
And he's very big into mental health. And he got sent to jail for, I think, attempt of murder when he was a kid. And now he's talking about, but dude, the guy is like, I follow him on TikTok too, and he's TikTok too. Yeah. And he's really, so he said he's thinking about coming on the show.
Oh, good.
But I actually should reach out to this guy here, Logical Thinker, and see what he come on, because he really does kind of just go after, like, hey, no, let me call you on your bullshit for a second right here. So see, I can't do these type of posts because I have network TV shows looking at me.
Yeah.
Right. And they go, oh, really? You said that? And most of networks are left leaning, very liberal. And I'm not left or right. Let me just say that again. I'm not left or right. But usually the liberal media, if you're saying that kind of almost looks like you have common sense, you're questioning something for the sake of common sense.
Yep.
You're, like I said earlier in the show, you're a Nazi because you agreed with Trump on that one. Even though I said I agree with Biden on this one, which I don't agree with either of them, by the way. But so I don't go after these things because, like, if I get canceled, all of a sudden some network goes, here's a new show for you. Yeah. Wait a minute, our intern just did some work and it turns out you said this. Yeah. And then you have a Kevin Hart Oscars situation.
Yep.
So this guy basically going back, again, I keep going back to logical_thinker2. He says, he talks about, like, so these women, right? Not necessarily, but in this post in general, they're talking about, are more people not taking accountability and placing blame under the label of narcissism. So this guy's talking about how, and I don't have the whole video, just have a screenshot. Basically what he's saying is, like, some of these people will just listen, right? They'll watch a person go, hear them talk about a narcissist, and he'll go, or maybe what I said at the top of the show, someone just disagreed with you. You said the word narcissist. So all these people, like you yourself, are a narcissist, miss.
Yep.
And you're calling him a narcissist. And now all of a sudden you have the support of all these people who don't know you, and they definitely don't know the story.
Yep.
They don't know you, they don't know him, and they definitely don't know the story. But all of a sudden, you're now labeling this guy who is a narcissist. And all of this is stuff like, and I've seen us name him. Name this guy. Why would you name him? That's relationship didn't work out. You're calling him a narcissist. I'm not, by the way, I'm not doubting what you said. I'm not doubting that if some stuff happened to you that's terrible.
Yep.
I'm not saying that. I hope you go to the authorities. And if someone did something terrible, I hope it was a relationship you didn't, if he did something illegal, I hope he gets, lets the judicial system take care of it. If he was in a relationship that he was mistreating you, then I hope you're out of that relationship.
Yep.
I truly do. But if the relationship didn't go the way you wanted it to, you shouldn't punish this guy, label him a narcissist, label him toxic, just because you two just couldn't hit it off. Yeah. So then don't go on social media. And that's my point. They'll go on social media and they will shit all over.
It's completely sabotage.
They will shit all over this person. And then, like, wasn't there an app a while ago called Rate My Date or something?
I don't know. Was there?
I don't know. I remember someone talking about it years ago. Someone said Rate My Date, and you could go in and you could type in Corey Brooks, didn't pay for dinner, very boring conversation. You know what I mean? Was on his phone all night. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm surprised if that's not out there now.
I don't know why it's not illegal.
Down, it'll be. Yeah, it should be illegal.
I'm sure, but I know it was something. I think it was Rate My Date or something like that.
It might have. Been.
I don't know. I could be wrong. Google it yourself, people.
Listen,
You do the work.
I've gone through plenty of breakups. I've gotten my heart broken. I've been cheated on and all that stuff, but I've never said one bad word about any of those women ever.
Yeah, I mean, you might say it to your friends, dude. She's fucking.
Yeah, but
yeah.
To me, there's always been it just didn't work out. There's a reason why.
Yeah,
people do that stuff.
That's it. But it's but that's the typical thing about the female narcissist. She will cause havoc in your life if she doesn't get what she wants. So if that relationship doesn't go the way she's going to, she will get the backup, the support of everybody, tell the wrong story, show up, try to get you to lose your job almost, call up your job, you know, and he's stealing fucking pens.
And
he got
so-
me a pen that he stole. He met me at lunchtime one time and he came out a box of blue pens.
And they're so good at telling that fabricated story that they
Yes,
believe it themselves.
will
And that
believe.
is what is so hard to decipher.
Right. And that goes back
you know.
to point one, where they love bomb you because they fucking tell you how great you are.
Yep.
And because you're great, well, then I must be great because I only associate with greatness.
Right.
So there are other lists. If you think you're with a narcissist, look it up. When you
Yep.
look, right. Again, if you get 1 out of the 10, it might not be enough reason
Yeah.
to break up with somebody. But if there's a lot of those things that you're ticking those boxes, because
Yep.
by the way, I could have went through the full list of 10 things to
And
look
you're
for.
fucking happy with being with a narcissist? And
Go
power
for it.
to you. Then
Fill
go
your
for
boots.
it.
Fill your boots.
That's
But
your kink?
if you go through the list, 1 to 10,
Yep.
of a narcissist, they're usually male and female are pretty much identical, but those 5 are kind of unique to the female.
Yeah, and I'm going to
The
agree with
female
you
of
there
the species.
because I feel like more men are more, they take the narcissism as a more powerful of things. Like you see a lot of, you know, CEOs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For men that are narcissists, you know,
Right,
are always
right.
trying to get an edge up.
They're trying to get ahead. They
Ahead,
don't care how
yeah.
they get there.
Exactly.
They don't care who to step on to get
Yeah.
to it.
Yep.
And as with the
They
female,
won't sabotage you like that. Like I feel like if they gone through a breakup, a man's not gonna.
oh no, if they break up, no, that's one of the
You know,
differences, right?
And that's that's like the men breaking up with you
Mhm.
as a narcissist. Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, and another topic we can do another day. If a man kind of goes after you after a breakup, that actually
Yeah.
does fall under one of the key things of a psychopath
Mhm.
or a sociopath,
Right.
which again we can go into on another episode. This is the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath.
Right.
That's another one. Once you read those top 10, like holy shit, I might be a psychopath.
Yeah, I was just about to say that because it's my first. You know, I know my first love. I was
Right.
very hurt and traumatized
Right,
by it.
right.
You know what I mean? It's like why not me? You
Right,
know, like,
but then
come on, take me back, take me back.
that could be yeah. So like a psychopath, again, is
that's-
another mental
yeah.
disorder too, right? And it's all from
But I mean, if that happens in a cycle of every girl you're with, then that's a problem. But
you might wanna get
the
that.
first love gets a pass. I feel like the first love gets a pass with all that craziness
When you're
younger.
16.
When you're fucking
I'll
16,
tell
and get
you-
your heartbroken. You know,
Well, I want to
Fuck,
end.
this is what heartbreak. is.
I want to end for at least me speaking for this episode
Yeah.
on this one. When I was a teenager, I want to say 16, 17.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend broke up with me at the time. She was away in
Yeah.
college. Yeah, because she was older than me.
Yeah.
And I remember I wrote a letter because there was no text. It was
Yeah.
not like that. And I was like, she would call once a week, and I'd be up in the room, and my mother like, "You phone." And you'd go downstairs, and
Yeah.
you know, get out of the room. I want to make
Yeah.
fucking go in the other room. I'm trying to stop listening.
Stop
right?
listening.
Right. I mean, I'm showing my age, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I would write a letter to this girl once a week, and she would write one back to me,
Yeah.
and she would come home every weekend. But it was just something for us to read while we were away from each other. So I remember she broke up with me,
Yeah.
and I wrote, "This is fucking humiliating, but I don't care." I was a kid, so like I don't
Right,
care.
right.
I was a kid, so it's not who I am, of course. And I remember I wrote this letter, you know, about basically asking for her back. And I remember I was like, I don't know if I was crying or I snotted, but something fell on the page, right? Like a tear hit the page, whatever. And I remember I wrote the word tear with an arrow to it.
Oh, that's fucking great.
That's so gross.
So gross. It's so gross. But what's crazy is if you did that nowadays, they'd fucking melt.
Oh,
You know?
but I wrote, no,
I
that's
just remember
chick-
writing an
no,
emails out to John Mayer.
I was 16. Like this girl probably didn't like roll right. Go, oh, she might have gone like you fucking douche.
Yeah.
But she probably.
I'm
she,
with the football team right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We're all reading this and
We're all
laughing.
fucking reading this. And laughing, yeah.
But yeah, I remember there was a tear hit the top right corner of it, and tear or a snot. Something fell.
both.
Something fell from my face, and I
He's
just
crying with a cold.
I just wrote tear. TEAR, and I put an arrow up to it with pointing at the stain. So
Just to make sure that she did see that was real.
yeah. So that doesn't fall under psychopath. That falls under just sad, pathetic, lonely teenage boy.
Yep. So we love. You know, I feel like every guy that like you fall. There's that one love. I'm like maybe I'm getting a little off topic here.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying like everybody has their first love.
Yeah.
And if it never sticks, like that is your worst love.
People
to
say
break
you
up
never
with.
forget. I do. I go, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I have to go, oh yeah. I go, oh shit, I remember. Oh yeah.
There's a part of you that never leaves. Like you always have a.
No, I
me.
do.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I
Fuck, must be
definitely.
an Irish thing.
It could be. It could be an Irish thing. But also, like, I move around a lot, so I move away, like, to different countries and stuff, and so I.
But if you ever ran, like, if somebody ever ran into their first love, you know, it's like those memories come back.
Yeah, and I think
not that you move forward with them as like, oh, I got my feelings back, but
memories
come back.
You might get flooded. You might get flooded with memories.
You might see somebody you hooked up with, like, whatever, hooked up with that person, but
yeah, you might get flooded with memories. But I think I remember when I went over to when my dad the week before my dad died, I went to Ireland.
Yeah.
To kind of talk to him, say goodbye to him. And this is going back 2 years ago. And I was walking into the hospital and my ex was walking out and she was, I guess, considered your first love.
Right.
And she didn't see me, but I saw her. And we literally like shoulder, like the corner was that sharp that when you turn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was more alert because I was watching everything because I had my mother with me and I didn't want her to trip on anything. She's not an old lady, but I'm just saying I just was protective of my mother because she was going through, you know, her husband was dying. And then she walked out. Right. Kind of, she took the corner on the inside, so she was obviously paying attention to where she was going.
Yep.
And I just remember seeing it, but nothing flushed back. But I think what it is a mutual respect, and like because that person has a lot of your time.
Yeah, and you're going through a certain time in your life too. Yeah. You're young. You're just graduating high school, then transferring to college, and trying to figure out what you're going to do with your life. Blah blah blah. And you're not. Yeah, you're a totally different person now, and you're including them.
Yeah, you're 18. Like, and we're going to have this house.
Like, yeah, we'll have this house, and we'll have that long distance when you go to college. Blah 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 blah. You know, you think you have it all figured out.
We've done all that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's a good place to look at there. Again, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Like subscribe, share. We're on all the platforms.
Everything, yes.
All the platforms.
Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify. We are on YouTube. Make sure you check out Mick's other podcast, Cheaper Than Therapy,
and
the Sticks and Stone podcast. The Two Guineas and a Mick. A lot of people enjoyed that. I don't know if that's going to be a constant thing or not, but we're going to
really soon.
Yeah. We'll keep putting them out there because everybody loves watching you and Austin argue back and forth.
And again, guys, if you please, if you need any help, please, it's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
Go get help. It's all right. If you want to talk to somebody, message me, Mick Thomas Comedy on my Instagram. You know, I got to set up a separate email, actually, if anybody wants to. Yeah. I should set up a separate email if anybody wants to. But you can put it into the email us at IHaveManxiety.com.
We'll make a Mick at IHaveManxiety.com.
Yeah, something like that. Without clicking, open up. We'll call it the way you log onto your computer, then type in your password and then email us at onlymickthough.com. All right, thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll speak to you next week.
Yep.